wanted to welcome everybody, good evening. We're at the virtual open house for the online Master of Education and Special Education program here at George Mason. Super excited to get started, and just so glad to have you here. I'm going to go over just a couple of housekeeping items, if that's okay. We'll go over the agenda tonight. Quick overview. We will be meeting our presenter, Dr. Jody Duke. She's going to share valuable information about the online program. You'll get more of an understanding, the curriculum details, why you should choose George Mason. I might be a little partial there, but we'll also learn about a recent alumni's experience in the program, about the amazing faculty, and what does the online classroom look like? I know I get a lot of questions about that. I did forget to introduce myself. I am Tabitha, and I am one of the online enrollment coordinators on behalf of George Mason. So I'm here just facilitating the slides. We have our expert here with us. So that's where my part comes in. I'll talk a little bit about the admissions process and the requirements there. And we'll end with a question and answer session. Super excited to have you here. Encourage participation, questions. This is the time and place to do it. It's a great environment to get those questions answered. So just thankful to have you here. And with that, I will go ahead and share with you how you can participate. Anna's already learned you can use the chat. So there's chat features. That's probably easiest, just in my experience. You're welcome. I think the raise your hand feature should be enabled. Zoom sometimes changes things, but you're welcome to raise your hand. And then there is a Q&A as well, where you can put your questions in there. But honestly, I think chat might be the easiest. That's just my from my experience. But we're so glad to have you here. And with that, I would like to introduce the amazing Dr. Jody Duke. She is our presenter tonight, and she is going to be filling you in on all the details that you're looking for. So thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Duke, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to her.
Thank you. I guess I should update that picture. It's so funny. Um,
I think it's
Hi, I'm Jody Duke, everyone, and I'm the academic program coordinator for the autism program here at Mason. I've been at Mason since 2008, so it's been a long time, and it's it's been wonderful to be a part of building this program and seeing it grow over the years. My research specialization is autism. I um, conduct research in transition for post-secondary students. So as autistic students are leaving high school, what are some of the supports and services for them, and specifically looking at mental health supports. So I love teaching in this program. I think one of the things I'll talk about tonight that is special about this program is that you'll get full professors, full faculty teaching your courses, and we're all really committed to the program. So thanks for being here. I do a lot of online teaching, so I can monitor the chat and do this at the same time. So please just throw questions in as they come to you, or as Tabitha said, raise your hand and I'll stop and we can make sure all your questions get answered. All right, so what makes our program special? So the special ed program at Mason is a part-time format, and I think that's really wonderful because it allows us to engage students from all areas of life. So some folks are special ed teachers who are trying to get a master's or graduate certificate. If you're on a provisional teaching license in the state of Virginia, you've got a set amount of time to do your master's, so our program is perfect for you. Others are in other fields, so we have folks who are career changers. We have people who are in other fields and they want to learn about autism. So that's been really interesting. I have students, I had someone who was an FBI profiler. I have people who are adult service providers, early childhood providers, researchers, all kinds of different things who just want to learn about autism. And then one of the types of students that we've had in this program that has been sort of a wonderful surprise as family members of autistic individuals. We get a lot of folks who just want to learn so they can support and advocate for their loved one better. So, no matter what lens is your experience, we will work with you. The part-time option is great. I think it allows you to focus on one course at a time and move in a sequence through the program. At the same time, though, it's really we're very proud of the high quality of our program and the immersive experience. So I'll talk more about our case studies later in this time, but we have really carefully designed each course in the program. And as I said, they're sequenced and they flow from one to the next, and they give you a really comprehensive understanding of autism. Um, the certificate tracks the sleep. Our program is ranked number 5 in the online special ed programs by US News and World Report, which we're really proud of. And yeah, our goal is to make sure that we are providing inclusive education um, and and programming for autistic individuals. And really, you might hear the term neurodiverse. So, individuals with disabilities and neurodiversities, and we focus on and so individuals, whether teaching or doing something else, from birth all the way through aging in our program. All right, Tabitha, next slide, please. Okay, so here's the curriculum that we offer in our program. And you'll see on the left here, we have core courses. Um, and these are the ones that we share with our applied behavior analysis program, and these are the ones that you take regardless. And then I'll talk to you about the autism track specifically and those courses. So we start with EDSE 501, which is a general introduction to special education. This is important because even if you're not here to be a special education teacher, you need to know about the history of special education and the history of people with disabilities. So we focus a lot on what has happened, what the laws are for people with disabilities, and you learn all of that in 501. EDSE 517 is a really cool class in which you learn about technology and computer applications for special populations. And so this is everything from what we call low tech um, communication and other options, where you might have things that are printed out that people use to make selections, all the way through high tech voice output devices, apps on the iPad that you can use, those kinds of things. Then we have added EDAT 524, which is Universal Design for Learning. This is one of the pivotal concepts in our program, and that is that we design and we encourage you when you leave our program to design all of activity that you develop for either students or other professionals or whoever you're working with in a UDL framework, which means that someone with a disability and without a disability can access it equally. And so this class will teach you all about how to do different options for how someone responds to you, different formats for your presentation of information. It really is a nice overview of a lot of really inclusive practices that are great in business applications, education applications, and many others. EDSC 590 is our special education research course, and it's not scary. That sounds scary, but it's not. We'll teach you all about how to study and analyze a problem, essentially. And so you will develop a research question and be able to run an application activity where you examine some research and learn about a topic. If you choose, you can substitute that with a capstone project, which is an individualized project. And so we work with students to determine which one they'd prefer, but most students do the research course. And then the part you're really probably the most interested in is the autism track. So we actually start with 634. I'm going to skip to the second one first, which is our characteristics class. And in that course, thank you, your purple pointer is perfect. In that class, we teach you everything about the characteristics of autism, the history of autism, and in that we focus on communication, social and behavioral characteristics primarily. You then go into EDSE 620, which is the one I teach most often, which is supporting behavior and sensory needs. I want to also say that the autism program is neuro-affirming, and we really take a positive view of neurodiversity. And so in our behavior and sensory course, it is all about how to support and provide positive strategies. And I think that's a really key part of our program as well. 635 is the interventions course, and that one is so cool. We do a different domain each week. So like academics, language, social interaction, and then we study one evidence-based practice in depth each week. And so you leave that, I teach that one too. I tell everyone at the beginning, we're filling your toolbox with all these tools so that when you're out in the field, regardless of the application, again, you have a lot of really specific, really sound research-based strategies ready to use. EDSE 636 is our communication and literacy course. And this covers everything from pragmatic language, which is very important for autistic individuals. Pragmatic language is our everyday conversational speech. Everything from that through literacy tips and reading tips, and you'll get some cool application activities in there. 637 is our Autism Across the Lifespan with a collaboration course. And so you learn about how to collaborate, and you spend some time actually examining your own local resources so that you can help those in your own community. So we do national and local resources in that course, as well as a lot of different strategies for collaboration. And our newest course is EDSE 638, which I co-built with my colleague, Dr. Francis. And this is a really cool course. We have it split into two topics. So each week you do a little bit learning about assessment and a little bit learning about intersectionality. And intersectionality is the intersection of autism with other identities. So race, ethnicity, gender, sexual identity, all of those things that make us who we are. And in the world of autism, some of these intersections are really critical to what makes each person unique who has autism. And so we really want you to have a strong sense of how to engage and support all the different intersectionalities that you may encounter. That was a lot of talking, but hopefully that was clear.
I love it. Now, thank you for sharing about the new courses as well. I was taking some notes.
Yes, yes, that one's really fun.
Yes.
All right. So, as I said before, we are designed to prepare professionals to work with autistic individuals in a range of areas. This was really important to us. Although we're housed in a special education program at George Mason, we know that not everyone wants to be a teacher. So, this is not a teacher track specifically. You will not get your initial licensure through us. There is currently no licensure in the state of Virginia for autism. So, this is great for people. Sometimes we have people who are educators and they want to add this as an add-on certificate, which is a wonderful option. Sometimes people are working in the adult services field. They are working in employment. We see a lot of neurodiversity employment initiatives right now where companies want to hire autistic individuals. And so this is a great way to learn how to support those folks really well. So we see a range, and no matter what the purpose is for you to be interested in enrolling in our program, we'll work it out with you and make sure that we're tailoring the program to meet your needs. I think the statistic that follows is really critical. If you've been watching the news over the last decades, you've seen this number, this prevalence just go up and up and up. So we're at 1 in 31 children are diagnosed with autism by age 8. This means we need a lot of professionals. And it's funny because I put in this with children, but then the next one is also important. They're growing up. So we have a huge need for people to work with autistic adults as well. And I hope you hear my language. This is all what we'll teach you in the program. This is identity first language when I say autistic children or autistic adults rather than children with autism. So we'll teach you all of these neuro affirming practices, and we really will prepare you for just about any career that involves autistic individuals. Next slide, please. So I love this slide. So one of our alumni, Beth Felson, is you can actually Google this company and look her up, Spectrum Transition Coaching. After leaving our program, she opened her own transition coaching and advocacy firm, and she is so successful. She works with families who have autistic, like really young adults from early high school age, middle school on, and she supports those young adults as they decide what to do after high school. Um, she works with a lot of young adults as they enter careers. She coaches in a wide range, but here's what she said about the program. The faculty were very engaged with the students and clearly interested in our success. They were very knowledgeable in the subject area and clearly passionate about their field. They were incredibly responsive to questions as well. So we're grateful for her feedback. Okay, the best part, who would you work with? So you've met me. Up on the top left is my colleague and one of my best friends in the world, Dr. Grace Francis. She is a brilliant researcher and teacher. She is really prevalent in the field of family and professional partnership and comes from a family with a sibling with a disability, and which gives her a really unique perspective on things. She is brilliant, but probably one of the most down to earth professors you'll ever meet. So, a lot of fun to work with. That's who I developed EDSE 638 with, and she teaches our collaboration course as well. Dr. Lynn Jorgensen is our other amazing full time faculty that works with us. She is currently the director of our Mason Life program as well. That is our post secondary program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so Dr. Jorgensen comes to class with all the stories and examples because she is supporting autistic students at the college level around Mason's campus. And she also has a private advocacy business of her own. So knowledgeable, so lovely. You'll learn a lot from her as well. The other faculty on this page, Ted Hawk and Lisa Tulo and Christy Park, and then not on here is Dr. Christine Bartal. They teach in our applied behavior analysis program. They're also wonderful. I just won't tell you as much about them.
That's what I love. I love getting to hear about the faculty and
Yes,
everybody's so involved and they're out there doing. They're not just telling you, they're doing it as well. So I
we
love
are. We're
that.
all working in the field.
Yes.
And, I have two kids who are college age. My son just graduated from college. And he has told me numerous times that he was at a very large, prestigious university, and he never in his major, he never had a one-on-one meeting with a full-time faculty member. He only saw teaching assistants, GRAs. That will not be your experience here. You will meet with us on Zoom or in person, whatever your preference is, as many times as you need to. And you'll get to know us really well. And I think that's a feature we have to highlight because I think it's really unique.
It
Yeah.
is. I actually, so just from this side, I have a lot of students that ask about that. Will I actually see it's online? And actually, a great segue to our next slide.
Perfect. Let's move to
Um,
the next slide.
yeah, I was gonna say a lot of students ask about this, so perfect segue
Yes.
there.
Yes. So the online learning, what does that look like? And you may be like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. So we have designed the learning to be asynchronous, which means that you log in and each week we have a module set up for you. We've designed the module really carefully and we've been running this for many years now. So we have fine tuned things, I think, to a degree where you'll find it to be a reasonable course load given the fact that we know you are doing this part time and likely working and have families and all the other obligations in the world. But you will log in, you will view video lectures that are us. It's Dr. Francis and Dr. Jorgensen and me talking to you, just kind of like we are tonight, but in a recorded format. You will have engaging activities with your peers where you talk with them in our online Canvas platform, and then I jump in and talk with you guys and put notes in. So those are our discussions. You will have activities. The Cyber Rat sadly is not an autism assignment. You will not get to do cyber rat with me. That's a behavior analysis activity. But we do have these really wonderful real world case studies that we are so proud of in our program. And what I love about this is that even though you're learning online, it gives you this real life practical application of everything you're learning. Um, and so our case studies, we followed 4 autistic individuals around for 3 days each with a full video and camera crew and recorded everything in their lives. Their families were amazing and gave us access to their schools. Um, One of them is a student, Allie, who was at George Mason at the time. We got to follow her. She was working at the Mason Life program. We got to meet her family. Um, there's a young girl named Brooke. We go to school with Brooke. You get to meet her whole family as well. You get to meet their outside therapists, literally just get a whole sense of their world. And then you have assignments throughout your program that are centered around those 4 individuals. So Jake, William, Allie, and Brooke. You will know them so well by the end. And Jake is a close family friend of his family is a close friend of mine, and he's now a full adult. But he was 19 when we did this. He's now I think 25. So I'll provide you all with updates as we go. But it's really nice because you'll get the sense that you're actually developing assignments and making plans for someone who is real and exists in the world, instead of just, I think, a textbook scenario. So that's a nice feature in our online learning. And then the other part is that we are always accessible. So um, anytime you have a question, you will just let us know and we pop on Zoom just like this and set up a meeting. And it can be 10 minutes if that's all you need, or it can be an hour, whatever you need. I talk with students almost every day about things, whether it's a question about a course or what do I do? I'm trying to decide between a couple different jobs. Um, One of my favorite things, because I teach behavior, is I love helping people with family members who are autistic and helping problem solve. I've been helping one of my students, her son has started bedwetting this summer, so we're working on that. And I was helping another student with getting her son to go to a summer camp because it was totally new and he was not excited about going. So we are accessible to you, even though it is this asynchronous format. And I think the positive part of the asynchronous format is it allows you to move through the content at the pace that's right for you and at the day and time that's right for you. So you have a week to complete things and you can work around your schedule, your family's schedule, whatever's going on for you. All
That's
right.
wonderful. Thank you. I get lots of questions about that. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
So the next slide's actually so my show. Like I said, I'm one of the online enrollment coordinators, and this is what my job is. I support students through the application process. Love what I do. Love getting to help students. And this is an amazing program. So I just get excited talking to students with it about it. So before we go into our Q&A portion, I'm going to go over just a little bit of the process here. And if you have any questions, feel free, to reach out to us. I'll be sharing our contact information. If you already have an admissions, enrollment counselor that you're working with, definitely feel free to reach out to them. Or if you don't know who you're working with, I can help you out with that and get y'all connected too. So, but yeah, so you a lot of times I honestly I prefer that you do talk to us so we can share the program details and help you through the process. We all love what we do. We have a great team. But one of the things that you're going to do is when you start the application, the portal is very, I feel like it's user friendly. We're here to help you through that process. I've sat on the phone with people, gone step by step, so we're here for that. You're going to want a copy of your transcript. Officials are needed, in the long run, but for your application purposes, we can actually accept unofficial as long as they meet all of the qualifications and have all of the information listed. We do prefer official, and we can help you with that process. I've helped people order those and things, so that is something that you're going to want. An updated professional resume is also needed. Two letters of recommendation, and they're actually sent through the portal. They're very easy. I always tell people make sure you're connecting with your recommenders, and they're looking for recommenders that know you, professionally and able to, recommend you on that end. They're sent right out through your application portal through email. It usually doesn't take any longer than 10 minutes or so. And the last thing is your personal statement or your goal statement. You might hear us call it that as well. Why I always tell people, why do you want to do this? What's your desire for the program? What's your passion? I always tell people this is helping them get to know you. What are your goals? And I say make sure you include why George Mason. There are different programs out there. George Mason is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. So tell them why do you want to go to George Mason? And then just as easy as that, you can submit your application. And if you have any questions about that process, please feel free to let us know. Um, I'm going to be sharing our contact information actually on the next slide. But yeah, I'd love to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and open it up next to questions and answers. You have the QR code there. We have Dr. Duke here, so kindly sharing her time. So feel free to ask any questions that you have. I was going to hop into the chat real quick. Dr. Duke, can you see any questions in there?
I don't see them yet, but I'm ready.
So definitely, if y'all are able to, feel free to put those in the chat or let us know if you have anything. I have some questions if they don't. We have some
Okay,
shy individuals today.
that's
Um,
okay. I gave a lot of information really quickly too, so it may take a minute for everyone to process, which is fine.
yeah. Yeah.
At the end, I'll give you everyone my email, and that way, if anything comes to you later, you can always reach out.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, we do have a question.
Great question, Mary.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't really talk about behavior, the ABA program at all, but I'm happy to do that. So I'm not the coordinator of that. That's Dr. Bartald, but I can give you a little overview. And if you've been looking into ABA programs, you know that every program in the country is undergoing revision right now because the board put out new standards and is requiring it to be a full master's program. And so at George Mason, our team is doing the same thing. They're working really hard on updating and creating new coursework to meet the requirements that the board has set out. And right now, the goal is that in spring of 26, we will be able to enroll our first group. So that means in the fall, we should be able to start info sessions on that program. The name would be changing to just behavior analytic and not ABA. The A is going away. I'm not completely sure why. Dr. Bartald knows that better than I do, but it's 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 just on a brief pause, Mary. So it's I did skip all of that, and usually Dr. Bartald is here with me, but we didn't want to give you all information and then tell you that there wasn't anything quite ready yet. So if you're interested, just hang in there, and it's coming very quickly. The faculty are working all summer on development.
That's exciting news too.
It is, yes, it's a lot of work for them, but
And
they're doing great.
I can imagine. I can only
Not the
imagine.
relaxing summer they had planned, probably,
No.
but it's okay. It's going to be
Yeah.
great once it's built.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Great question, Mary. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, we do have another one there. Awesome.
Oh, Tabitha, this might be something you know better than I know.
Yeah, let's see. I have my bachelor's from an international university. So for international students, there are a little bit additional guidelines. There's some supplemental documentation that's needed, and I'm happy to send you over that information after the session. You would need a degree evaluation. George Mason does prefer WES, World Education Services evaluations, because they're very comprehensive and complete. But it can be from any NACES member. I know that's a lot, so I will send it over to you. And depending on where your your degree is from. There is an English language proficiency exam required for a good chunk. So we can definitely go into more details about that. But it's just a little bit more extra, but not too bad at all. And that's something that actually my team helps with. I know I work on a daily basis with individuals, helping out with that portion. So yeah, great question. Any other questions out there? All right. Great question. Let's see. Okay, I have an international degree, but with a Spartan evaluation done in 2023. I'm going to be honest, I'm not familiar with Spartan. I would have to check and see if that's a NACIS member or not. Antoinette, if you could send me over your contact information privately to make sure we have it, I would definitely like to send you my contact information, and you're welcome to send that over to me, and I can check on that for you. Great question. Any other questions out there? I have one while we're waiting, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm ready, Tabitha.
A lot of times I get asked, okay, like especially with the certificate program, what are like some career fields that people can go into?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's I think that's what's exciting about this program is there's so many choices. So you can certainly work in an education setting if you like. A lot of people work in schools, instructional assistants, even different behavior positions that school systems offer. We have a lot of folks who go into adult services, working in community organizations, um, working with employment field. We have folks who go into the employment field, working with different organizations, either running neurodiversity initiatives or supporting those. We have a lot of folks who do work in different advocacy, coaching, sort of um, running their own business model, which is exciting, kind of like Beth that I showcased. So, yeah, some do early childhood as well, because we will cover that. So, you could work with little ones if you like that. Um, it's really a range. Good question. And then it looks like Antoinette has, I don't know if I'm
Yes.
saying your name right, but another
Yes.
one. So, yeah, great
Yeah.
question. We would be starting in the fall, so end of August. And uh, yeah,
Great, yeah, great question.
good
I
question.
should have totally included that earlier. So,
No
so
worries.
the applications are due by August 1st. I'll be honest, I love them a little bit prior to that so I can make sure everything is there, but they are technically due by August 1st. I always tell people it's never too early to apply. As long as that application is out there, they are accepted on a rolling basis. We have some students that are already just waiting for their spring start of spring of January of 26. So definitely, and the classes start August 25th. So and thank you for sharing about the different career opportunities out
Of
there.
course. Yeah, everyone has good questions.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw my email in here too for anyone if something comes to you later. I'm around.
Thank
Happy to
you.
talk about the program, meet with you all individually, email, whatever works.
Yeah, I love these sessions. I love interacting, with prospective students and just finding out more. You always find out something new. It's
I
awesome.
know I'm learning about the international undergrad part. I didn't know all that, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it helps all of you who've attended so that you see a real face, not just a program on the website, too. We're real.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes. Oh, great question, Mary. Yeah. I'll let you talk about
Wonderful.
that, Dr. Duke. You're the expert.
Yeah, actually, we run 8-week courses. Your estimate was right. In the summer, there's 7 weeks, but during the academic year, they're 8 weeks. So what's really nice about the program is we knock out 2 courses a semester in terms of the traditional semester being, um, for, like, our on-campus programs at George Mason, it's a 15-week semester that runs from the end of August through December, but for our program, we're able to do 2 courses in there. So like I said earlier, you just take one at a time, and you move through the program really quickly, but in a manageable way. It's all designed to be done in those 8-week chunks. Karina, this does not give you the licensure that you would need for early childhood, but it's a nice add-on component. So if you did, you would have to do the licensure program in early childhood or early childhood special ed, and then you could do this as a certificate that you add on. But unfortunately, we don't do the teacher licensure part because they don't have that in autism. I hope they get it though, and we get to do that someday soon.
Me too. I second that.
Yes.
I get that asked that a lot.
Me too. Yep.
Great questions, y'all. Any other questions out there? Oh, we still have Dr. Duke with us. But definitely, if you have any questions or anything comes up, please feel free to reach out. Our contact information is on there. Our to reach out our department, the main number is 703-348-5006. And the email on there, it's online to at s.masononline.gmu.edu. It's very long. You're welcome to take a screen snip or take a picture. Um, but we're here to support you. We're very excited. And so thankful you joined us tonight. And thank you, Dr. Duke, for your time. We so appreciate it. We love these sessions. And thank you all for joining us. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, Dr. Duke?
No, I hope that oh, there's a little floating heart someone
Oh,
made. That was so cute. I
yes,
can do
thank
that
you.
too. Hold on. Can I do that? There we go. Maybe I did it and I didn't know. But thank you all so much. I'm so excited to see people interested in this field. You will never want for a job in the field of autism because there are just so many different applications of your knowledge and your expertise. So we look forward to having you join us, and I'm around via email, and we can set up a time to talk at any time.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night.